So, just got some news on something that I've been witnessing for a long time myself because I've seen it in the industry. A deaf trucker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess sued a trucking company for discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call that? Equal opportunity or whatever?
Yeah, I would say.
You know, like he has a CDL, but because they cite it that they don't hire people that have to use sign language. He went to court. Here's what it says. It says trucking company to pay deaf job applicant. Obviously, he never got to drive there. $50,000 following the EEOC lawsuit. It says a trucking company has agreed to pay to settle an Equal Employment Opportunity Commission lawsuit that alleged discrimination against a deaf applicant. It says on February 9th, Consent Decree, Missouri-based trucking company Wilson Logistics Incorporated agreed to pay former truck driver job applicant Gerald McCrae a sum of 50,000 smackaronis to settle accusations of disability discrimination. So they, technically, I guess it didn't go all the way. They just settled. It sounds like they settled.
Well, he was just, he didn't drive there like you said. So he applied for the job, and because they said they couldn't hire him for whatever reason, he said it was discrimination because of him being deaf. And it might be, as far as the sign language, that's, you should have people that can, even people now, Starbucks, they're hiring people that can do that.
Okay, well, here's what it says. It says the court said that the $50,000 is compensation for the back pay and for the emotional distress damages. In July 2024, the EOC sued Wilson Logistics in the U.S. court for the District of Middle District of North Carolina, alleging that the company violated the Americans with Disability Act when it refused to hire a deaf job applicant because of his disability. Then it says McCrary, M-C-C-R-A-R-Y, McCrary, called Wilson Logistics seeking work as a truck driver. He possessed a commercial driver's license, had relevant experience, and had been granted an exemption, which we know that. When you have, I guess you're missing a limb, or you only see out one eye, or I guess you're deaf, you have to get a DOT exemption, right? So it says he was granted an exemption from regulatory hearing requirements by the U.S. Department of Transportation when McCrary spoke to Wilson Logistics through a video relay service. Now, let's stop right there. We know those services because, we have done a lot of phone work over the years, and we deal with a lot of truck drivers in different fields, and I've talked to truck drivers through these services. You'll call them, and a person will answer, and they're communicating with the deaf trucker through, I guess, a computer screen, sign language, or they're typing to him, and he's typing back. Okay, that's how that works. My thing went. So then it says, Wilson Logistics was further ordered to take several measures to avoid discriminatory practices in the future, including providing employee training, revising applicant materials, and updating the company website to state that Wilson Logistics is an equal opportunity employer which welcomes and values all candidates. An employer cannot refuse to consider a job applicant because of disability without conducting an individualized inquiry, said Melinda C. Dugas, regional attorney for the EEOC Charlotte District. The EEOC will continue to litigate cases in which qualified individuals with disabilities are summarily dismissed from the application process. So the point being, trying to find this one thing in here. Okay, here it literally says, so he was seeking employment as a truck driver. He possessed a commercial driver's license, had relative experience, and had been granted the exemption. When McCreary spoke to Wilson through the video relay service, the company's representative, probably a recruiter, told him he could not bring somebody in who does not read, write, and speak English, that's the law. Mm-hmm. But then he said he further told him that the company does not hire individuals who communicate through sign language, like I had mentioned earlier. And that's where that's where the company got themselves in trouble. And I know personally a lot of companies, I can name several, that have this same practice. And I spoke with one or two of them, and they literally said the reasoning being is because, and think about this. Okay, now you have to call this service. The service has to contact the driver. Now, I've never seen a problem with it, but here's where your problem could lie. They have to rely on internet connection. So let's say you're out in the desert somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, or in one of the caves, wherever you're in some area where the
reception's bad. We have it right here in our own county.
Right, where you have really bad reception. Okay, you need to communicate to your driver who is deaf. The question being, now how do you communicate to this driver, on a change or something that needs to be done that's super important? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you get the message to them if the service isn't there? But at the same time, here's where the argument is. Well, how would you communicate with any driver if the service isn't there?
Well, not only that, but I personally don't know a ton of sign language. I know very, very, very little. It's something I would like to know more about. But I do know, just like other foreign languages, it doesn't relay the same that we speak in English. So when you're doing sign language, it's not performed exactly like a sentence that we're used to hearing. So you have to interpret that as the person that's receiving it and make sure that you get it in the right format. Well, what if the person that's getting this, that's performing the sign language, or, hopefully it would be more typed than anything, but if they are doing that, if it's not coming across correctly, there could be a slight misunderstanding on how it should be, whatever task that they're now being changed around. It could be something that could be very detrimental on how it's going to be performed now. Something simple or...
And look, we're not advocating against or for. Our job is really to dig in and look at all the reasons why, this happens and that happens. So you've got a case here where there's people that are deaf and they want to drive tractor trailer. And so questions have to be asked. Okay. Here's the question that I'm wondering. You're a deaf truck driver, right? And you're driving down the road and, I'm just saying, like, when I'm a driver, my senses all count. If somebody's honking or blowing at me, right? And literally I can't hear them. Do they have some kind of a device that vibrates maybe?
Usually it's a flashing light or something like that.
Yeah, something like what if there's another trucker honking at you, or someone's trying to get a hold of you, or whatever the case is? You can't hear them. And here's the other thing. You're going down the road. A truck driver, right? They have hands-free communication. They can talk on the phone and hear, right? And drive. A deaf trucker would have to literally be reading a screen going down the road because he can't hear. Now, again, we're not knocking anybody. I know there's some bunny hugger out there going to think we're being rude right now. And all we're doing is questioning this article. Okay, we're questioning it in every way. But to you bunny huggers that are probably, thinking the wrong of this, turn me off. I mean that I literally don't have time for that. I'm just literally trying to see, the trucking world is our world. And, it's an interesting thought because like I said, I've seen not many, but a handful of deaf truckers over the years where, obviously they've got to communicate a certain way. I know that trucking companies have had a problem with that. A lot of them do. I mean, it's obvious. But I got to ask the same questions that these trucking companies would be asking. How is he communicating? Is that going to affect our business? And that's really what every trucking company is asking when they're hiring any truck driver. How is this guy going to affect our business? And maybe these deaf truckers have no issues. Maybe it's perfectly normal and they can function perfect without any hassles, but maybe trucking companies just don't want to educate themselves and go to the next step to hire these guys. Maybe that's what it comes down to. I don't know. I'm just asking the questions.
Well, usually, you ever notice that when for some reason, if your eyes are blurry that day or whatever, you're hearing a little bit more. The same thing as if one sense is not up to par, your other senses will kick
better.
in.
Yeah, That's
so
true.
maybe with not having the hearing, their vision is a little bit more apt.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, we depend on our hearing a lot when we're in the vehicle. Emergency vehicles, you usually hear them before you see them. So when it comes to those types of situations, like you said, even with a honking of a horn, some kind of warning, we're going down the road, we try and honk our horn at someone if we see, like, oh, you got a flat or something's hanging from the back of your truck or whatever the case might be, you try and let this person know. And I'm not talking about tractor trailer, I'm talking about pickup truck or something.
Right, yeah, if you can't hear the horn honking, that is definitely something when it comes to that. And, what's interesting, and I don't want to get political, but we just had all these, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit, foreign truck drivers that were given non-domicile CDLs. They were just handed CDLs. So you almost have to ask, part of me says, well, we should just trust the government that they know what they're doing and they're giving waivers out and, because these guys have been tested. But then you got to say, well, look at all the non-domicile CDLs they gave out, just like they were chewing gum. And so you have to ask yourself, are they making sure on these waivers that they're given a deaf truck driver? I'm just curious, what does the DOT say? Okay, you can't hear, but here's where we can give you the waiver. What do you think that what would we call it, that special circumstance is that they say, okay, you can't hear, but if you can do this, or if this is the way this works, then we can let you drive. I wonder what that is.
I don't know. We'd have to look into it, or maybe have someone, reach out to us and let us know what those circumstances are. It would make me curious, though, because when you think about it, is equal opportunity as far as if a driver is deaf, is it any different than a driver that has diabetes? I mean,
I know, because
there's still risk factors.
They now allow people that use needles. Okay, before it was only the diabetic. What is it, type 1, where if you're on the pill, you could drive, right? But now I guess people that need insulin, they now can get a waiver and drive a tractor trailer. It's something. So, everything's advancing, which is awesome for people, and I believe in opportunity for anybody. Mm-hmm. But tractor trailers are no joke. I'm going to tell you right now, I've grown up in this industry, and it's no joke. Handling them, stopping them, driving them, the whole 9 yards. It's no joke. Mm-hmm. So if they're saying these guys can do it, we got to trust it and just, go forward with it. But I'm curious, though, how it all works, how they get the waiver and how they have to qualify to be able to drive the tractor trailer. You just get, and how do they even train them? When they go to the trucking schools and all that other good stuff. It's so, it'd be interesting to know all that. Like you said, maybe somebody could write in and explain it to us, because obviously trucking companies out there are really taking a risk when they turn these guys away.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking a risk when you do it for anything, but honestly, as on the flip side, you're taking a risk as a driver going in with any form of handicap, period. It's just, why should you give up a dream if that's what you want to be for the rest of your life? But, it's like you said, it's a really serious job. I mean, it's like being a lumberjack and having an issue with your shoulders, I'm just saying there's some things that are really, it's a safety issue too. So it's a lot that you have to contemplate.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on.
Moving on.
All right. Let's take a break.
Hey drivers, I have a question for you. Are you still searching load boards? Are you still booking your own loads? If you answered yes, then I have another question for you. How would you like to find loads faster and easier just by saying these words? Hey Bubba. Introducing Hey Bubba, the most advanced technology in AI dispatching today. No more searching different load boards, no more booking your own loads, no more making phone calls, no more negotiating your own rates. Bubba does it all. And it all starts with, Hey Bubba. So if you want the most powerful AI dispatching tool known to man today, head on over to bubba.ai and download your free version of Hey Bubba today. Again, go to bubba.ai and get your free download today. Truck Parking Club is a network of instantly reservable daily and monthly truck parking locations throughout the U.S. Truck Parking Club helps connect truckers to truck parking locations throughout the U.S. via truckparkingclub.com. Our networks is made up of property owners that have locations adequate for truck parking to list on the platform. This includes trucking companies, storage companies, CDL schools, trailer leasing companies, real estate investors, truck parking operators, and more. Go to truckparkingclub.com today. Attention all trucking companies that have 5 trucks or more. Listen to this message. You are required to keep up to date on all driver records, including driver maintenance, equipment maintenance, ELDs, drug consortium, and all updated paperwork that DOT demands of you. I'd like to introduce to you Wide Open Road Compliance LLC. Wide Open Road understands how easy it is to fall behind on paperwork and get bogged down. We understand that you would like to do what you do best, and that's running your company. So let Wide Open Road take over and manage all your compliance paperwork. For a very low and very affordable cost, Wide Open Road Compliance LLC can give you peace of mind and take over all of your DOT compliant paperwork today. All calls are kept confidential. Call or text 859-912-0017. That's 859-912-0017. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you. Call today.
All right, we're back here. It's Sunday here, Ruthann. Sad news coming out of Maryland, I guess Maryland, Virginia area this morning on, what is today's date anyways? We don't normally announce the dates, but today is the 15th of February, halfway through.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Is today Valentine's Day?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, as I thought. Anyway, sad news. A Purdue Transportation, a truck driver, went off the bridge. Didn't make it. You know, I remember this happened like a year or two ago. Same bridge. I remember the truck floating. And
what bridge?
Chesapeake Bridge.
Oh.
You know the Chesapeake Bridge.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah. But anyways, apparently, now I don't know what happened. Was it a medical? You know what's funny when you're on a bridge like that over water? There are so many bad wind gusts that can literally just flip a truck. You can have a heart attack, or you could be doing something you shouldn't be doing. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't know, but he went over, and I guess, divers found him, and he did not make it. And it looks a mess. It's terrible, terrible thing for his family and all that, So rest in peace, truck driver. That's sad news like that.
It is sad.
It really is. It's funny is truckers, the average amount of truckers in that are in fatal accidents in a year, okay, it's like, I think there's like 1,500, there's like around 5,000 fatal trucking accidents, of which I think like 1,500 truckers die, right, a year. So that really means about 3 truckers a day on average. Let's see, 365 days. That means probably more than that. You have 365 days in a year, and 1,500 truckers die. So 365 times 2 would be 750. So you probably have roughly 4.1 drivers. I'm just doing my math in my head. A little over 4 drivers on average a day, truckers that die in a fatal accident. And I've seen reports anywhere from like 47 to 5,700 fatal truck accidents, truck by itself accidents, truck on car accidents. And like I said, the trucker is the lower one, the lower number of deaths. It's usually the 4-wheeler.
Right.
Obviously if you're in a car.
Or 2-wheelers.
Well, I seen one yesterday. I don't know if the guy had a heart attack or what. He was in a car and he swerved into a trucker, and then it flipped the tractor trailer on him. Yeah. So then they had to jack the truck up, and the guy lived, but he didn't look like he was in good shape rather. But prayers for the guy, and we just don't realize it. Like tomorrow, about 4 truckers will be killed on the highway somewhere in an accident on average. Interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. How about we move on? Talk about truckers' deaths. Okay. All right. What do you want to talk about?
We're going to have the truck show this coming weekend.
We'll be in Miami. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah.
Come see us. The Florida Truck Show. Jesus is the host. And he's got Houston. He does the Houston show. He does the California show. Hey, Zeus, you ought to do the Dallas show, because remember the Dallas Truck Show? It was like the number 2.
It's in Houston now, isn't it?
I mean, I guess you can call it that, but it's not. I don't know if it's as big, because when they did it at the place in Dallas, it was giant. It was almost as big as Louisville.
Well, I will say this, drivers. If you're in the Florida area and you make it down to Fort Lauderdale to see us, we have actually a raffle that will be going on. One of our sponsors sent us some stuff.
Bubba.
Yeah, Hey Bubba. Hey, I love Hey Bubba. I love Bubba, the guy,
the AI dispatcher. Hey Bubba. But that's such a cool dispatching tool for everybody. But in fact, we're going to talk about something here in a second. But like you said, there's going to be a raffle going off.
It's like they're giving away a prize. So.
Yeah, some cool prizes, and we'll be there giving out a few things and doing interviews and all our good stuff. Stop and see us. We love meeting everybody. That is so true. Anyways, so quick article. This was interesting this week. And I was reading it. It didn't really dawn on me. I didn't really care. But then I realized, wait a second, that's actually pretty big news. The trucking and logistics stocks, they plummeted. Like J.B. Hunt, C.H. Robinson, they literally lost billions over the weekend because the announcement of this one AI based company called Algorithm Holdings announced that they probably could run all of the freight broker loads, I guess, all by itself on that level. And panic set in, and I mean panic set in. Trucking people's stocks went from, I don't know, upwards of 20%, 6 to 20%, just lost overnight. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow if it'll rebound or what, but it goes to show you everybody's afraid of AI, artificial intelligence.
I honestly don't like much stuff to deal with AI. I really don't. I don't like when you see a video and you have to question whether or not
it's real
or not. And you're sitting and you're breaking it down so methodically to try and see, okay, is there
where can I find the mistake?
Yeah, you're like, because a lot of them, like some of them, you could clearly see that it was AI. I mean, it's really obvious, you know. And then there's other ones that you're like, you're really trying to look at it really closely to see how much is AI, you know, like how much it could be AI because, oh, is that a faulty looking tree, or, you know, different stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was talking to somebody this morning about this, and what's interesting about AI and all the people's jobs are really on the brink. Mm-hmm. You know, we were talking to a guy at church today. He said most likely his job won't be around forever because of AI. If you're a receptionist, you probably don't have a job anymore. Now, you can literally hire an AI bot to answer your phones, to greet people and all that good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. McDonald's, remember when they were training people to use the kiosk? Mm-hmm. What they were really doing was training people to take their job. Mm-hmm. They were literally training people to come in and do their own orders so that McDonald's doesn't have to hire people anymore. This is really what the world's coming to. It's actually it's almost Terminator. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where you're thinking, okay, there's going to come a point here where most people don't have work, therefore people are losing because they can't support their families. I'm not trying to sound conspiracy, but what happens when 80% of the jobs go away?
I honestly, that's what I mean. I can't stand it's taken away. Do you remember when it was was it Homer? When his boss, Homer lost his job because his boss, does Homer put the top on a toothpaste? Is that what Homer's job was?
I forget what it was.
And he got a machine, and the machine would go and do it. You know?
It would make sense, though.
And it's like, I mean, honestly, how much jobs is people going to have if there's a machine that can do everything? Well, I mean, look at all the people that lost their jobs with automobile construction because a machine could put the car door on now. You know, all this different stuff. People were losing their jobs. Shouldn't they have learned from that?
I remember when Homer wanted to get on welfare, so he ate and gained like 300 pounds.
When he was in a moo-moo?
He had to wear a moo-moo. And he would eat donuts all the time so he didn't have to work. Remember that? I mean, that was the job, I remember. But the bottom line with it is AI is scaring the crap out of people. They just announced these autonomous trucks they're now having 1,000-mile runs. It's like, okay, you know, a solo driver cannot legally make a 1,000-mile run. And I think they're building a road just for AI trucks. I mean, it's just crazy. What's going to happen? I guess what's interesting about with AI, it's going faster than everybody realized. That's the craziness. Everybody was excited about it. You know what they said? The only jobs that are safe from AI. You want to know what they are? Ones that have like the human touch, like for example, nurses. Ones that have, you know, to where you have to have literally caring and not just a black and white answer. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the insurance companies that try to run the hospital industry, black and white. But the bottom line with it is they say those are the jobs that are safe for now. But I also seen over the weekend, they announced a new robot with heated skin like a human. Yeah. They're $175,000. So we'll have to wait for the prices to come down. It's just insane what man is doing to man.
I'm still stuck on this robot that has heated skin for 175. You know what I mean,
they wanted to have the human touch.
I understand that, but my head went somewhere. That.
Yeah, you were thinking the same thing. A lot of people were probably thinking. Lot lizards, right?
Close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like people won't even have interaction with people once they build the right robot. It's just, it's disgusting. It's actually, they're going to wonder what happened to our society. It's Matrix. Remember, they were all in the pod really hooked up. Batteries. And they all are in a coma. their batteries, and they're really in the matrix. They think they're in doing things, but they're really not. It's just crazy. Hollywood builds it, and then guess what? We end up living it. This is crazy. And I know our trucking fans right now, or followers, whatever we call them, are probably going, guys, move on. Let's talk trucking.
Well,
but this is trucking. This is the future of trucking, AI.
And here's the thing that I had when you said, yes, they're looking at building a road for the AI trucks. I'm thinking to myself, well, why don't they just build a road for all our trucks, and then that way they don't have to be on the road with the cars? Why do it for just the AI trucks? Why not just do it for the regular trucks too?
Because that's not the way they think.
Well,
okay, they're doing it for money.
Well, yeah.
Then I got to do something special for us.
And I always told you that anything that's in Hollywood came up with a thought from somewhere. That's why I don't like the movie Hostel.
No, yeah, that was pretty bad. All right, let's move on.
Moving on.
Well, one last thing I'd like to just mention. DOT just closed this loophole that was actually causing major accidents. I didn't know this. Of the foreign drivers that illegally obtain non-domicile CDLs. They were just handing them out like candy. We know that. It was big news for the last month or two, right? But I didn't know. Let me see if I can find the number here. They said last summer there were 17 crashes by foreign drivers. And look, I don't have a problem with foreigners, just so you guys know this, all right? All right. What we're talking about here is people that came here illegally and just got a CDL handed to them without any checks. So there were 17 crashes. 30 Americans died in last summer in 2025 from 17 illegals wrecking trucks and killing people that didn't know what they were doing. And here's really what the reasoning, here's the loophole. You know what it is? When you come from another country, right, and you get even a work permit, even guys with a work permit now are not going to get a CDL, they said. This is what Duffy's saying. And here's the reason why. Because when it comes, and I had asked a trucking company once, I said, hey, do you hire, these are trucking companies, can you hire a guy from Canada? Or can you hire a guy from Africa? Can you hire a guy from England? And they all said, no, we can't. I said, well, what if they have like 10, 20 years experience? They said, we can't verify it. And so this is what Duffy's saying. When you come over here from wherever, okay, Colombia, and we give you a CDL, we can't verify if you had a bunch of reckless drivings or you killed people, you had major accidents, or you were just a dumbass the way you drove in your other country. We can't verify that. You know, when an American trucker gets a CDL or even a regular license, right? Or if you're going to get insurance, what do? They run your motor vehicle record and they say, okay, we'll insure this guy, right? It's impossible to do that from some guy that's coming in from another country. I don't care. You could say, well, you can check with our country. Listen, our country's not going to trust another country to run. If we can't physically check you out from here on out, you aren't getting a CDL when you come to this country without going through the proper channels by becoming an American citizen or being here long enough, okay, to get a CDL the right way, and us, you know, the American people to be able to go, okay, we see his driving here, and we can vet him and check him out. Well, I got to tell you right now, it just got really hard for foreigners to get a CDL in the United States of America, and rightfully so. Okay, because when one American dies, because they don't just hand American CDLs. No. If you're an American person, if you're an American man or woman, and you want a CDL, you got to go through all kind of stuff. You got to pay good money, right? You got to go through all the vetting. And then when the company goes to hire you, you got to be vetted. You got to be checked out all the way. Well, why shouldn't anybody that wants to drive 80,000 pounds? And that's good.
It should be. It should be the same.
Right.
Rules should follow for every single person that's going into that field. It should be the same thing.
The key word that you just said are rules. Just set the rules, and we all follow it.
Exactly.
And Americans are going to follow the rules, and so should everybody else, if it's this country.
Well, it should be, and it shouldn't make a difference if it's a male or female, or American-born or
foreign-born.
A foreign.
If you come over and do it right, you can drive here. We're all for it if you do it right.
Right. And the only thing I will say that I don't like going on right now is the chameleon companies with what they're doing. That's just
I'm glad you brought that up, actually. Chameleon companies, they're changing DOT numbers. But what's funny? We knew about this for years, you and I. Mm-hmm. We've known about this. There's companies up there, and I can name one that rhymes with Lego or Amigo, okay, or Digo, that's under several companies. There's a lot of trucking companies in Chicago that have different DOT numbers, or they get into an accident and what do? They change it to their cousin's name and they get a new DOT number, but they get to operate under the same people that are messing up. Mm-hmm. That should not be.
No.
They have videos right now of literally somebody filming a guy going into a truck stop, parking in the back, and then peeling off his DOT number, and there's another DOT number under it. He was already ready for it. Mm-hmm. Crazy. Mm-hmm. And guess what? They're not American companies doing that.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. They're the foreign ones.
Right. And so they're the foreign illegals. Again, you gotta, what's funny? Everybody yells racist if you disagree with them, right? Like if you're a white guy and you disagree with somebody from another country, whatever, right? A white American, and you disagree, you're a racist. Mm-hmm. I don't care what color you are. If you disagree with somebody else, you're now a racist, right? I'm not kidding you. Mm-hmm. Right. So what the bottom line is what I'm trying to tell everybody, we don't have a problem with foreigners. It's the illegal ones coming and doing illegal things. That's our problem. No, we're not racist. So anyways, Ruthann, that's my podcast for the week. Come look us up this week.
Come see us.
Come and see us. What was that? Who's the guy who used to do that? That guy with the bald head. 7-Up the Uncola. Remember that commercial? The Uncola.
Oh, like he was like a Caribbean guy.
Yeah.
He's like from the Caribbean.
Like, 7-Up the Uncola.
I don't know who he was, so I just remember.
Well, I'm just saying, I remember the voice.
I remember that now.
He had the voice.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's do this.
Kvel.
Word of the day is canal. What did it say?
Kvel.
Canal.
Kvel.
Cavell?
Yeah, Kvell. Kvel.
Cavell? Okay, so Cavell. Do it again.
Kvel.
Cavell. She even says it weird. Cavell.
It's Yiddish.
It's a Yiddish word? Mm-hmm. Cavell? Cavell. Hey, Cavelkin. You're Cavelcum. No? Just what does it mean?
Kvel.
Ruthann, you gotta say it 100 times? What does it say? What does it mean?
Feel happy.
Be happy?
Feel happy.
Feel happy?
The best part of awards shows is seeing recipients' families cavelling over their success. Even as conversations quieted, the winning team continued their cavell over their victory.
And the definition is be happy?
Feel.
Feeling happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so cavell. Wow. Are you cavelling right now?
No, I'm tired.
Okay. All right, well, come see us at the Florida Truck Show. We'd love to shake your hand and say hi to y'all and put you on the show even. We're going to have our equipment with us, and we'll be doing interviews and shaking hands and kissing babies.
I'll hold the babies.
Yeah, I'm not kissing babies. They'll throw up on me.
I'll change a diaper.
Oh, I'm not changing. I didn't change our own kids' diapers. I'm not changing your diapers, so don't bring your kid in my booth. All right, I'm kidding around. Bring the kid. We'll give him a toy. We don't have toys, do we? What are we giving out?
You want to know what we're giving out?
Oh, we got golf tees, ain't?
Troy picked golf tees.
No, but we have other things.
I picked stadium cups.
TalkCDL cups. But the golf tees are cool.
Well,
yeah. There's a lot of truckers that golf.
I don't know. I don't know of truckers that golf, so I can't tell you.
It's got TalkCDL on the golf tee. Come get a cool golf tee.
I think we're going to have a couple of raffles ourselves with some of our swag.
Yeah, we're going to have maybe a couple backpacks and stuff that we're going to be giving out with some raffles. Mm-hmm. And also, our sign-up sheet has gotten popular over the years at these truck shows. Ruthann and I have a sign-up sheet where we give you free shout-outs on the TalkCDL Trucking Podcast. So we're going to try to get it to where we just scan the barcode if we can. We got to talk to Tyler about that, see if we can get that set up. Mm-hmm. That'd be really cool. Be a lot easier. All right.
It would be.
We're out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord.